The Ashwood Inn sat like a carcass on the edge of Highway 61, its neon sign sputtering through the night vacancy. Most drivers ignored it. The ones who didn't often didn't come back. When Ellen pushed through the front doors, the woman at the desk looked human enough. Her uniform was pressed, her curls neat, but the longer Ellen stared, the more she noticed the details. Her skin was too smooth, her eyes too glassy, her lips too red, like someone had painted them too. Behind her, the register was open, filled not with paper forms but with scraps of yellowing newspaper articles. Ellen leaned closer and caught headlines: Tragedy at Ashwood Inn, 13 dead. Family missing from motel room. Guest claims phantoms in mirrors. The clerk noticed her staring and closed the book quickly. You will find your room very comfortable, she said, but her voice had a faint echo, as if two people were speaking at once. On the way to room 6, Ellen felt watched. She glanced over her shoulder and saw a man in a grey suit at the far end of the corridor. His face was blurry, like smoke behind glass. She blinked and he was gone. Further down, a child's giggle echoed. When she turned, a little girl stood barefoot in the hallway, holding a burned teddy bear. Her nightdress was signed, her hair tangled with ash. Are you lost too? The girl asked softly. Before Ellen could answer, the child dissolved into a swirl of soot that stained the carpet. Room 6. In her room, the mirror wasn't the only problem anymore. Shadows moved under the bed, dragging sounds like fingernails on wood. The closet door rattled even though it was shut tight. Once she swore she saw smoke seep from the ceiling vent, and in the haze formed faces, gasping, screaming, then vanishing. When the lights flickered, the mirror flared bright. Inside it, the pale figures gathered again, but this time Ellen recognized some. The man in the grey suit, the girl with the teddy bear, a family of 4, all holding hands, faces melted and blackened with fire. They weren't smiling anymore. Their mouths hung open, jaws slack, eyes desperate. Help us, they whispered. We can't leave. Behind them, the lobby clerk loomed larger, her smile stretching inhumanly wide. They lie, she hissed. They belong to me. The ghosts pressed against the glass, their hands leaving smears as if on fogged windows. The mirror shook. The Ashwood Inn hadn't just burned. That was the story told in the papers. Yes, but the real story whispered among old locals was worse. They said the owner, George Ashwood, had locked the exits the nights of the blaze. Some kind of ritual. He had been obsessed with spiritualism, with binding souls to places, believing he could build a house that never empties. He died in the fire too, but they said his spirit didn't move on. Instead, it stayed behind the front desk, greeting new guests, feeding the house with more souls. The mirror cracked as Ellen backed away. Hands pushed through, pale and wet, grasping at the air. The ghosts were spilling out, dragging themselves into her room. The girl with the teddy bear whispered, "Run before she takes you too." But the door had no knob. The walls were closing in. The clerk's face appeared in every shade of glass. Her smile, a gash of teeth. "You will never check out, dear. None of us do." The last thing Ellen felt was cold hands pulling her down into the floor, into the Ashwood Inn itself, where countless voices cried in the dark. A few days later, a state trooper found her car on the highway shoulder, empty. He pulled into the Ashwood Inn out of curiosity. The sign buzzed, "No vacancy." Through the upstairs windows, he swore he saw dozens of faces staring back, one of them fresh, her eyes wide, her lips whispering against the glass. Ellen had joined the guests.